Hello and welcome to the channel. Despite what they may have you believe or the facade they try to project outwardly, it has been revealed by a coalition of northern groups that Buhari never wanted Tinubu to become president. The group went at some of the economic decisions the former president approved of before the election, like the Naira redesign policy, which they specifically used to target Tinubu, or the apparent lack of endorsement for Tinubu during the APC party primary. Make we yarn details. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Confession on oil subsidy. Buhari never wanted Tinubu to win. Coalition of northern groups. In a stunning admission on Monday, former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari revealed that the withdrawal of oil subsidy was not motivated by the country's economic interests, but rather as a political move to benefit the All Progressives Congress APC and its then presidential candidate, leader Bola Tinubu, in the February 25, 2023 elections. This revelation, which came through a press statement by former presidential media aide Malam Garba Shehu, has ignited a firestorm of criticism, raising broader questions about how national interests were prioritized throughout Buhari's tenure and shedding light on a range of pressing issues that plagued Nigeria during his time in office. Former President Buhari's reported confession regarding the withdrawal of oil subsidy also triggered a wave of public outrage. Nigerians from all walks of life are now questioning whether their ex-leaders' decisions had been guided by a genuine commitment to serving the nation's interest or instead driven by political calculations. The decision to remove the subsidy has been met with widespread backlash as it led to an immediate increase in fuel prices, exacerbating the economic challenges faced by ordinary citizens. The former president's admission further raised concerns about the governance ethics under his leadership. Critics argue that his alleged inaction or turning a blind eye to corrupt practices within his administration allowed a culture of impunity to thrive. Voodoo contracts, oil theft, and massive stealing became rampant, further eroding public trust in the government's ability to tackle corruption effectively. The lack of accountability contributed to the country's economic woes and hindered its progress. Another troubling aspect of Buhari's presidency was his perceived inaction in addressing the escalating violence perpetrated by Fulani herdsmen. The president's body language, as some critics put it, was seen as encouraging these attacks, which resulted in countless lives lost, kidnappings, and disrupted farming activities. The failure of the military to respond adequately to these atrocities added to the growing sense of insecurity and instability in affected communities. In light of President Buhari's confession, Nigerian leaders from various sectors and civil society organizations have come forward to express their concerns and demand accountability. National interest compromised during Buhari's tenure. Issa Yuguda. Former Governor Issa Yuguda of Bauchi State described the delayed removal of the fuel subsidy as a clear indictment of the president's lack of political will, suggesting that national interests were indeed compromised during his tenure. Yuguda emphasized the issue of subsidy removal had been talked about so much under the previous government that it is comparable to motion without movement. It had been just a talk shop while the government lacked political will. Implementing policies, especially when vested interest and a cabal exist, can be very frustrating. It is similar to the issue of illegal oil bunkering and theft. It can be stopped, but the political will to do so is not there. There are so many interests involved, and that is what is leading Nigeria to where we are today. The subsidy regime should have been abolished back in 2012. Anyone who makes excuses against subsidy removal is a selfish person connected to the scammers that are harming this country. Other prominent figures, such as Professor Charles Nwakeaku, Secretary of Igbo Elders Consultative Forum, led by former Anambra Governor Chief Chukwuemeka Ezeife, the Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Head of Transparency International Nigeria and Chair, Board of Trustees Amnesty International Nigeria, Uwal Musa Rafsanjani, and former Chief Imam of National Assembly Legislative Quarters Mosque, Sheikh Muhammad Nuru Khalid, echoed similar sentiments, calling for a thorough investigation into the allegations. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Buhari never wanted Tinubu to win. Coalition of Northern Groups. Also reacting, the spokesperson of the Coalition of Northern Groups, Abdulaziz Suleiman, said the confession by the former President Buhari did not come as a surprise to us at the CNG. If anything, it is a confirmation of what we have been pointing out throughout the 8 years of that citadel of poor governance, indifference, insensitivity, and unprecedented plunder that was the Buhari presidency. We, however, disagree slightly with Buhari because everyone is aware by now that he never wanted Tinubu to win and never worked for his victory. Instead, he supported policy directions and encouraged actions that clearly aimed at subverting it. The failure of the Buhari administration to announce the removal of the fuel subsidy was merely one out of the several indecisions, lack of courage, and political will to tackle national issues around security, the economy, and reintegration that characterized an administration wrapped in the crude cover of crass political opportunism and breathtaking ineptitude. It is part of the burdens of the shared legacy of the Buhari administration in the bombs and bullets of insurgents, bandits, and the deteriorating standards of living as politicians and top government officials fleeced the poor of resources to develop, officials whose personal greed and ambitions remain tied to the continuation of decay and destruction of a nation and a people. He treated as enemies those of us who tried to wake him up to the magnitude of the humanitarian disaster that criminal activities have created, with about 5 million of our fellow citizens internally displaced, with hundreds of thousands of orphans, hunger and malnourishment previously unknown in our land becoming alarming features of existence. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.